Hello, my name is Omar Ampersad. It is November 23rd, 2016 at 3:12 p.m. in Toronto. So I'm going to talk a little bit today about fees and municipal accounts. Now, I do believe, I suspect that I am in the system and I'm registered on the municipal level and flagged on the municipal level as some sort of a criminal. And in my case, I do believe that prostitution and solicitation and maybe some other criminal activity are part of that registration, suspected activity, I should say. Again, to clarify, I've never been a prostitute, don't intend to become one, I don't solicit and so on. So just to make that clear. So, excuse me. So the account is used to accumulate information about the target, in this case me. So I do suspect that that alerts are going out in the community when I'm in the area, and members of the community are coming around me to see what I'm up to, because then I'm a suspected criminal in the area. So, and taking notes and so on, and calling the cops and so on. So I'm being mobbed anywhere I go, basically. This has been going on for quite a while, 10 years at least. And it's been going on in my living environment for at least many years. So the police has been called on several occasions, I'm suspecting, for silly things like popping nuts in my oven, for instance, chestnuts popping in my oven, which, by the way, sounds very much like a mini bomb. It goes off that loudly. I've had the police called on me, I'm suspecting, by someone who heard it outside my door, outside the window, and called the cops because I'm a suspected criminal living in the building. I have also had suspecting someone called the cops because I was standing in a subway station, a busy subway station, waiting for the bus. And the reason I do that is because it's a very crowded station, and I wait for empty buses to come by so I can get a seat, because I am a target and I'm jostled all the time in the bus, and people try to get me into arguments and so on. I've had incidents where men would hang over me and have their crutches right in front of my face, and I've had to get up and leave the seat. So I try to avoid situations like that by going in buses that's not crowded, and I can get a seat in a somewhat isolated corner, window seat and so on. So I tried to do this. So anyways, I'd imagine that someone saw me do this quite a few times and called cops saying I'm loitering. So then if you have a few calls like this that I'm loitering, and I also walk a lot, doctor's orders, they would also call the cops and say I'm in the area walking around, aimlessly. I do adventure out, and go on streets that I don't normally walk on sometimes, just to see the gardens, if it's summertime, just to see if it's fall, to see the colors. So, and I stand up and I look around, and I appreciate the colors of, for an example. So, people call the cops and say I'm loitering because there's already all this information in the public arena about me. Again, so going back to the fees that I mentioned. So if you were to have a lot of complaints about a person, in this case me, and this municipal account, and there is this monitor that's monitoring you on behalf of whoever, a government agency, the family member, I'm not sure how that was set up. I'm suspecting both. I'm suspecting both are working in conjunction with one another. There could be fees or charges laid. So if there are fees and warnings and so on, none of this has been relayed to me. And I'm suspecting, first of all, I'm not aware, being officially aware that there is such an account. I only know about this based on a lot of comments outside my window, which seems to be on a daily basis. and it seems to be some sort of an updating program going on outside my window just to let me know that this is going on. Um, Anyways, there seem to be, like I said, a number of complaints lodged, and fees are being um, um, applied to this account. Now, why is it that I don't know about the fees, even though they're relating to my activity? I'm suspecting that somewhere in that file, I am being misrepresented in the system as mentally retarded and mentally ill, and I'm not able to take care of myself, emotionally unstable. So I should not be told. I don't have to be told. I have never been mentally evaluated. I've never been diagnosed with a mental illness. I'm not mentally retarded. There is no diagnosis on file. I've never been taken by any member of a family to a court, to a doctor for a mental evaluation. I've never been declared mentally incapacitated that I know of, and if a family member did that behind my back, this is fraud, and it was never disclosed to me. So just to make that clear. So the fees are not being disclosed to me either. So if I'm being charged for, say, um, whatever charge that is on the books based on what the police is getting from the public, what's being reported about me on reports and phone calls and so on. The police doesn't have to come and ask me about it necessarily. This is not necessary from my understanding of the procedure. They can just go ahead and lay a charge against me and come and pull me out of my home and charge me and arraign me based on the information that they got. Same thing goes with fees. On a municipal level, fees can be levied. And my concern about the fees, if I'm charged, of course, they'd have to come to me directly and charge me. The fees, if I don't know about them, first of all, a fee is a deterrent. It's supposed to act as a deterrent to warn you and to let you know that this activity is being looked at, and it could be illegal, and you can fight it. And if it's done one time and it doesn't come to you, and the second time it doesn't come to you, and the third time a charge has gone through, then you'd have to ask the question, why is it not coming to you in the first place? Why is the information not being relayed? And if it's meant to deter you from doing the activity again, it's never been relayed to you until a charge goes through. So why is that? Is that a conspiracy to make that happen? Is it the intention to get a charge through? These are good questions because I've asked members of my family for information, but I never got it, and other parties as well, and I don't. No information is being given to me. So if there are fees on the account, and every time I move from workplace to workplace, and someone were to come to maybe a member of the family who's involved in this process and say, well, I see this file, or I know of this file because the notification has been placed in the newspaper, and this person needs monitoring, we'll do it on behalf of you, and there's all these fees and these late charges on these fees, we'll pay it and we'll monitor this person. So my question, why would a stranger pay a fee to monitor a woman? And even more of a question, a more concerning question is, why would a male that practices Sharia law pay a fee for a woman who is non-Muslim and very westernized in her views? Why would he volunteer to pay the fees on behalf of the family on this account that the woman knows absolutely nothing about and start monitoring the person? It's a very, very, very good question. Could it be human trafficking? It is my very strong suspicion that it is part of a human trafficking program, and it could very well be part of criminal activity that's going on. And it could be part of setting up a woman to be human trafficked, especially if someone, several people are swearing that, yes, she's a prostitute. We suspect her to be a prostitute. I saw her talking to a man somewhere. She was found in a drain somewhere. We had a lineup of men identifying her as someone who she solicited. Why would men practicing Sharia law and who thinks nothing of prostitutes, why would they pay a fee? Now, would that result in my being solicited in the workplace? That's a really good question, and that's something I'd address in another one of my blurbs. Talk to you another time.